On Saturday evening in Minnesota in the first game of a doubleheader, the Twins are hosting the Oakland Athletics. Picking up action in the top of the second, no score, 2 outs, Terry Steinbach on second base. Lance Blankenship at bat against Minnesota starter Mark Guthrie, and Blankenship lines a single into right field. Steinbach just beating the throw to the plate scores, and Oakland leads 1-0. RBI number 4 for Lance Blankenship. In the top of the third, despite trailing 1-0, Minnesota starter Mark Guthrie picks up strikeout victim number 5 through 3 innings, getting Dave Henderson swinging to end the inning. Guthrie went 8 innings tonight, allowed 4 runs, all earned on 7 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 7. In the top of the fifth, with 1 out, Mike Gallego on third base. Ricky Henderson flares a single to left center field off of Guthrie. Gallego scores easily, and Oakland leads 2-0. RBI number 40 for the man of steel, Ricky Henderson. And speaking of steal, Henderson would then steal second base. The next batter for the Oakland A's in the top of the fifth is Carney Lansford. He will follow with a looping single to left field. Ricky Henderson turns on the afterburners and he scores. Oakland leads 3-0. Moving on to the bottom of the fifth with 1 out, runners at second and third. Greg Gagne at bat against Oakland starter Dave Stewart. Gagne hits a chopper off the plate up the middle. Mike Gallego's only play is to first base. Shane Mack scores from third base on the fielder's choice. And Oakland now leads by 2, 3-1. Oakland starter Dave Stewart would get some defensive help from first baseman Mark McGwire when Randy Bush would lead off the bottom of the sixth with a sharp ground ball down the first baseline. McGwire dives to his left to make the stop. He then shovels the ball to Stewart covering first base in time to nail Bush. Nice play by Oakland first baseman Mark McGwire. In the top of the ninth with 1 out, Mark McGwire on second base. Felix Jose will double off of Juan Berenguer into the right center field gap. McGwire scores and Oakland leads 4-1. RBI number 31 for Felix Jose. Dave Stewart would throw a complete game 6 hitter tonight, his 6th complete game of the year. He walked no one and he struck out 5. Here in the bottom of the ninth, he gets Brian Harper to fly out to center field to end the ball game. Oakland beats the Minnesota Twins in game 1 of this doubleheader by the final score of 4-1. Winning pitcher is Dave Stewart. He raises his record to 13-8. Losing pitcher is Mark Guthrie. His record is now even at 3-3. Evening in Minnesota, Ozzie Canseco and the A's are playing the Twins in the second game of this doubleheader. In the bottom of the first, with the bases loaded and Minnesota leading 1-0, there's 2 outs. Junior Ortiz against Bob Welch, who's seeking his 17th win of the season. Ortiz strokes a 2-run single into right field, driving in both Randy Bush and Gary Gaetti, and the Twins lead 3-0. RBIs 10 and 11 for catcher Junior Ortiz. A tough night for Bob Welch, who is seeking his 17th win of the season. But a great night for Junior Ortiz as we move to the bottom of the third. Runners at second and third and no outs. And Ortiz will pick up his 3rd RBI of the night and 12th of the season as he strokes his 2nd single of the night into right field. That drives in Ken Herbeck, and the Twins lead 4-0. Still bottom of the third. Welch delivering to John Moses, who triples into the right center field gap. Brian Harper and Junior Ortiz both score, and the Twins now lead 6-0. RBIs 11 and 12 on the season for John Moses. That was all for Oakland starter Bob Welch. Gene Nelson came on in relief of Bob Welch. With the score now 7-0 Minnesota. Randy Bush will double off the right field wall. Al Newman scores all the way from first base. The Twins lead 8-0. RBI number 8 on the season for Randy Bush. And after 3 innings of play, the Minnesota Twins lead the Oakland Athletics 8-0 in game number 2 of this doubleheader. In the top of the 6th, with Minnesota now leading 9-2, 1 out, no on, Mark McGwire with a solo blast off of Minnesota starter Scott Erickson. This shot goes into center field and rockets off the wall. And this makes the score 9-3 Minnesota. Home run number 27 and RBI number 66 for Mark McGwire. And speaking of going deep, this young couple is having a good old time in the upper deck at the Metrodome. In the top of the 7th with 1 out, no on, Ricky Henderson with a long solo home run to left field off of Scott Erickson. Minnesota now leads 9-4. For the man of steel, Ricky Henderson, that's home run number 19 and RBI number 41 on the season. Twins defeat the A's by the final score of 9-4 to split today's doubleheader. Winning pitcher Scott Erickson, he's now 2-2. The loser Bob Welch is 16-4. And this couple is off to explore bigger and better things.